Let me ask you something. And I need you to be honest with yourself right now. What does your life actually look like if you wake up at 45 and nothing has changed? Same account balance. Same anxiety at the end of the month. Same feeling that money is something that happens to other people, not to you. That thought is uncomfortable. I know. Because most people feel it and immediately look away. They grab their phone, open something, distract themselves. Anything to not sit with it. But you're still here. Which tells me something about you. You already know. Somewhere deep down, you already know that your 30s are not a rehearsal. They're the real thing. And the decisions you make, or don't make, in this decade will echo for the rest of your life. Not because someone told you that, but because you feel it. At night, when it's quiet and there's nothing to scroll. That silence has a name. And today, we're going to sit with it, and then do something about it. There's a word that has quietly stolen more wealth from more people than any financial crisis in history. That word is later. I'll start investing later. I'll build savings later. I'll figure out the money thing later. Right now I just need to get through this month. And here's what's dangerous about that word. It doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like a pause. Like you're not choosing to give up, you're just waiting for the right moment. But later is a decision. One of the most expensive ones you'll ever make. Think about it this way. Imagine two guys. Same age, 30. Same income. One starts putting away $300 a month right now. The other waits just 5 years. 5 years. That's it. By the time they're both 60, the first guy has almost twice the money. Not because he was smarter. Not because he earned more. Just because he started. That's not a financial trick. That's time doing what time does, quietly, without drama, without applause. And the brutal truth is this: time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't care about your reasons. It doesn't negotiate. Every month you spend in the later mindset is a month you're trading future security for present comfort. And that trade feels invisible until it doesn't. Until you're 42, looking at a spreadsheet, doing the math you should have done a decade ago. And the number doesn't lie. Here's something nobody talks about. Before you ever open a brokerage account, before you ever read a book about investing, before any of that, there's a story running in the background of your mind about what money is, what it means, and whether someone like you is allowed to have it. And most people never examine that story. They just live inside it. Maybe you grew up watching your parents fight about bills. Maybe money was always the thing that was almost enough, but never quite. Maybe you learned, somewhere along the way, that wanting more was greedy. Or naive. Or just not realistic for people from where you come from. Those aren't just memories. They're instructions. And your brain has been following them ever since. Think about the last time you had a little extra money. What did you do with it? Did you invest it? Save it? Or did something inside you find a way to spend it, almost automatically, as if having money in your account felt wrong somehow? Uncomfortable. Like it didn't belong there. That's not a coincidence. That's programming. And I'm not saying this to make you feel stuck. I'm saying it because the moment you see the story, you stop being controlled by it. The people who build wealth in their 30s aren't always the ones who earn the most. They're often the ones who looked at what they believed about money, and quietly decided to believe something different. Not louder. Not more aggressively. Just differently. We need to talk about what wealth actually means. Because I think most people are chasing the wrong thing. And that's exactly why they never catch it. When you picture a wealthy person, what do you see? A big house? A car that turns heads? Vacations on someone's Instagram? Maybe. But here's what those images don't show you. They don't show you the debt behind the facade. The anxiety underneath the aesthetics. The person who looks like they have everything, and checks their bank account every morning with a knot in their stomach. That's not wealth. That's performance. Real wealth is boring to look at. It's a number sitting quietly in an account somewhere. It's owning things that grow while you sleep. It's having options. The option to say no to a job that's killing you. The option to help someone you love without it breaking you. The option to slow down when your body asks you to. Wealth is not a lifestyle. It's a position. And here's the part that changes everything when you really understand it. Wealth is not about how much you make. It's about the gap between what you make and what you spend. That gap, consistently maintained over time, is where freedom is built. A person earning $40,000 a year who spends $32,000 is building something. A person earning $120,000 who spends $119,000 is one emergency away from crisis. The number on your paycheck is not your power. The number you keep, that's your power. And in your 30s, that gap is everything. Because you still have enough time for it to matter. Enough time for compound interest to do what no salary raise ever could. But only if you start treating that gap like it's sacred. There's a pressure that lives specifically in your 30s. It's quieter than people talk about. But it's heavy. Your friends are buying houses. Or at least, that's what it looks like on the surface. Someone gets married, someone gets a promotion, someone posts a photo from a kitchen with an island countertop and recessed lighting. And something happens inside you, something subtle, almost unconscious, where you start measuring your life against theirs. And that measurement is expensive. Not just emotionally. Financially. Because the response to that pressure, for most people, is spending. Not out of joy. Not out of genuine desire. But out of the need to signal that you're keeping up. A nicer car than you need. Dinners at places that feel like statements. Clothes that say something about who you want people to think you are. And none of it fills the gap. It just widens it. There's a word for this that economists use, lifestyle inflation. But that makes it sound clinical. Distant. Like something that happens to other people in textbooks. What it actually feels like is this: every time your income goes up, your expenses quietly follow. A raise comes in and somehow, 6 months later, you're no more comfortable than before. The numbers got bigger but the feeling stayed the same. That treadmill has a name. And the only way off it is to make a decision that most people around you won't understand. The decision to stop spending to look wealthy, and start doing the quiet, unglamorous things that actually make you wealthy. Nobody posts that on Instagram. Nobody applauds it at dinner. But 10 years from now, when the gap between you and everyone else becomes impossible to ignore, you'll know exactly when it started. It started the day you stopped performing and started building. Alright? Let's get concrete. Because everything we've talked about so far, the story, the pressure, the gap, none of it matters if it stays abstract. Ideas don't build wealth. Decisions do. Repeated, unsexy, consistent decisions. So let's talk about what those actually look like in your 30s. The first one is the hardest, and it's this: pay yourself before you pay anyone else. Before the rent, before the subscriptions, before the groceries, a percentage of what you earn goes somewhere it can grow. Not what's left over at the end of the month. Because there's never anything left over at the end of the month. It comes out first. Automatically. Like a bill you owe your future self. Start with whatever you can. 5%. 10 if you can stretch it. The number matters less than the habit. The second move is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket over time. A liability takes it out. Your car is a liability. A rental property is an asset. Your savings account, properly invested, is an asset. Most of what we spend our 30s buying are liabilities dressed up as rewards. That's not a judgment. It's just arithmetic. The third move, and this one is quiet but powerful, is learning to be deeply uncomfortable with financial stagnation. Not panicked. Not obsessed. Just unwilling to accept it. The way you'd be unwilling to let a wound go untreated. You notice it. You address it. You move. None of this requires a finance degree. None of it requires perfect timing or a bull market or being born into the right family. It requires consistency in a world designed to break your consistency. It requires choosing, again and again, the version of yourself that exists 10 years from now, over the version of yourself that wants comfort right now. That's it. That's the whole game. If you've made it here, to this point in the video, I want you to know something. Most people don't. They click, they watch 2 minutes, they leave. But you stayed. And that's not an accident. That says something about where you are right now. Something is shifting in you. Maybe it started before you even found this video. So I want to take just a moment and invite you to stay connected. Hit that subscribe button. Join us here every day. Because what we're building on this channel isn't just financial content, it's a different way of thinking. About money, about time, about what a life well built actually looks like. And that kind of thinking compounds too, just like interest. If this conversation has meant something to you today, bring someone else into it. Someone in their 30s who needs to hear this. Share it with them. Not as advice. Just as something worth watching. Now, back to where we were. Because there's one thing we haven't talked about yet. And it might be the most important piece of everything. You can know all of this. Every concept, every move, every strategy. You can understand the gap, see through the performance, recognize the story you've been telling yourself about money. And still not act. Because knowledge without urgency is just entertainment. And urgency, real urgency, doesn't come from fear. It doesn't come from someone scaring you with numbers. It comes from a moment of clarity. A quiet, almost private moment where you look at your life honestly and decide, not loudly, not dramatically, that you are done waiting. That moment is available to you right now. The question is whether you'll let it land. Let me leave you with this. Somewhere, right now, there are 2 versions of you living in parallel. One of them kept watching. Kept scrolling. Kept saying later. Kept spending to feel something. Kept performing wealth while quietly drifting further from it. That version of you isn't bad. Isn't lazy. Just never had the moment where it all became real. The other version made a decision. Not a loud one. Not a dramatic one. Just a quiet, firm, private decision that the way things have been going is not the way things are going to continue. That version started small. Stayed consistent. Stopped comparing. And 10 years from now, that version has options. Real ones. The distance between those 2 versions of you is not talent. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's a choice you make today. And then again tomorrow. And then again the day after that. Nobody is coming to save you from the version of your life you keep choosing by default. But you already knew that. That's why you're here. You don't need more information. You need to move. So move. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. That future is being built right now. In the decisions nobody sees. In the sacrifices nobody applauds. In the quiet, steady work of becoming someone your future self will thank. If this video meant something to you, hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow. Share this with 5 people in their 30s who need to hear it. Not because I asked you to. Because you know someone who needs this conversation. And drop a comment below. Tell me something honest. What's one thing from this video that hit different for you? And tell me what you want us to talk about next. I read every single one. See you tomorrow.